Well, hello YouTubers! Welcome back to my channel. Apologize for the video, not posting a video for a while, but I've been really busy. We've had a lot going on here in my life and also with the printers. Had a couple of breakdowns with the printers. My monoprice stripped a drive gear. I had to replace that. I also did some upgrades to the CR10. Well, just one upgrade. Printed up the new little fang blower. Great print. I have really, to be honest with you, haven't noticed any changes yet in the print qualities. So I'm still printing with it to see what's going on. I've done a couple of test prints with it to see what's going on with it and see if it's worked out. I haven't noticed any major changes in print quality. But it is a nice little device and it looks kind of cool. One thing I will recommend if you do print this, you'll notice that this little piece in the back is very fragile. When you go to slide it over your extruder, it will break very easily. So you want to be really careful when you're extruding it. Another thing I noticed that the screw that attaches, that holds the heat block on, protruded out a little bit more than what I'd like to. Made it very, very hard to slide over. So my solution was to sand a little groove down in through here. I grabbed my half circular file, sanded that out. Other than that, those are the only difficulties I had. Took about 10 minutes to put the parts together, put it all together. Once we got it all fitted, and it worked out great. I printed one. I printed this one and I broke it, so to be on the safe side I reprinted it, but I printed two of them and I got the other one on the printer. This is just a spare that I have left over. Some other prints that I've been doing. I did a really nice Eiffel Tower print. I was very, very pleased with how this print turned out. 52 hours total print time on the CR10. I printed this at 200%. I believe it was at 0.15 millimeter height. The print itself turned out really great. This was up without supports. It did have a couple little problems with it, with the print. The print was on the printer this way, so this was the y-axis and the z-axis. So the y-axis, I noticed that down on the bottom, some of the beams underneath here did not get completely printed like on the other side. I don't know what that had to do, but it was only on the front and back, not the sides. The sides printed very nice. My assistant's in here and she's wagging her tail, knocking my cameras. Get over here. Get. Sit. My assistant, George. The only other problem that I had with this print was the top part. We're going to insert picture. "52 hours into this print, beautiful print." That happened. I was a little disappointed. So my quick fix for that was, instead of reprinting the whole thing, was I printed just the little top piece. This one was at 100%, so it was just a little too small for it. Let me hold that up. But it printed it nice. So then I reprinted it at 200%. I had to cut the top part off. I used my flat cutters. Just snip that out, snip the old broken piece off, the deformed part, and just super glued that back on, and it turned out really nice. I'm very pleased with it. It's not noticeable. But yeah, overall, man, I am really happy with this print. It looks really cool. I've got some friends over for the holidays and they thought it was a nice print and it looks really great. Got a lot of compliments on it. I'll put a link to it on Thingiverse, along with, cite the creator. I don't remember off the top of my head who modeled this, but I'll definitely put a link in the bottom so you can see where it's at. I also have a time lapse for it, so we'll put the time lapse up too. Some other prints that I've been doing since I wanted to try out the fang extruder, the fang blower, so I printed some stuff in hollow mode. The next print we did on the CR10 with that, I printed the Roman bust of the Emperor Caligula. If you're going to print an emperor, you might as well print the worst one of them all. Turned out really nice. This is in hollow mode. You can hear that. Turned out really great. I was really pleased with it. I'll put a link down there in the description so you can print it. I think I also did a time lapse on this one, so we'll post a time lapse if it's up there. And I printed my alien print a couple of weeks ago. You remember that? If you saw that print, turned out great. So we can't have alien without predator. So we found the predator bust. These are smaller models. What I like to do is I like to print these models real small and decide later if I'm going to blow them up and make them a little bit bigger. Like we did with the Spider-Man. I printed the small one, then printed the large one. Neither one of these I think I'm going to print very big. I think I'm just happy with how these turned out. They look good. It comes with a little stand. My only downside is the stand doesn't fit quite right. It's a little loose, so it's wobbly. But when you're displaying it, you don't touch it. It's fine. Looks good. The other model that we printed I got on board was Joelbot from 3D Print Nerd, Joel Telling. They came out with a model from a drawing by Lady Muse, and I forget your name who modeled it, but he made a model, made it available. I'll link it in the description below so you can print it out if you want. But I printed my little Joelbot. This was printed in Hi-Fi Blue, 0.15 layer height. Real nice model, turned out really great. I noticed when I was printing it, I printed it facing forward, and up to the top we started getting some wobbling going on, some wobbling issues. And you can kind of see some separations and a little bit of layer stuff in there. But nothing fancy or nothing major. So I really like this model, so I decided to print it even larger. And I printed the larger model this time facing the side view. And this happened. He actually broke off at the feet. He was printing this way. I don't know what happened. It was printing great, and then all of a sudden I was in my living room watching TV, and I heard a crash, and I came in and found it all plotted down, all fell over. It was like really frustrating, but that's okay. It's a great print. I might glue it back on. I saw a video, and another YouTuber had suggested gluing some supports on there with gluing some dowel rods on with some hot glue, and he printed it out real well, and it kind of helped stabilize it. And it turned out pretty well. So I might try it again because I do like the larger Joelbot. He's a great model. He's real cute. A lot of fun, man. Just having it around in your collection. Show him to you again, man. He's awesome. And plus, I'm a big fan of Joel. This was printed in his Hi-Fi Blue, that special run that they did, that filament. Unfortunately, I've used it all up, and it's kind of on the expensive side. It's like 4 times the normal price of filament, so I don't know if I'm going to be getting any more of it. But it's a really nice filament, and I enjoyed working with it. Other than that, just upgrading the CR10. Replace the extruder gear on the monoprice. It's been working great. I had some issues with that. What was happening was it started skipping. It would just stop printing. It would get like this far and stop printing. Then I noticed, so I thought I had a clog. I took it apart, cleaned out the clog, started printing again. This was my second attempt. And it stopped again. So then I took the extruder apart again and realized that the extruder gear had kind of stripped off of the drive shaft. I guess that's what it's called. So the little screw that holds it on has stripped out. So I turned around, I didn't have the extra screw, so I just bought all new gear anyway. Replaced the gear. I got a little video of that I'll put in. Pieces are huge. I have 4 pieces so far printed. But these are one-day prints. I've got to work tomorrow, so I don't have time to actually print a piece for that model. So I decided to print a smaller version. Kira says it's going to take about 9 hours. I'm printing at 25%. Kira says it's going to take about 9 hours to print, so I'm going to give it 12 to 14 hours actually. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. We'll get going on some more stuff here. I'm still working on ideas for material for the channel, coming up with things. We're going to do this Mystic Castle over time, print that out. I won't do a more detailed video on that a little bit later. That'll probably be our next video. I'm going to work on finishing that out. I do actually plan to finish it and paint it, glue it all together, paint it up, make it look really nice. I'm also toying around with the idea of painting up my giant Spider-Man head. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Y'all have a great day. Take care.